Be careful.
I think the culvert's missing. Oh my goodness. Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's been a couple of days since the big rain. I don't know if you can hear that or not. The spring over there is roaring. We need to check over there our spring box that waters all of the animals. I haven't gone up there yet, and I'm kind of curious what shape that's in. But before we do that, we're gonna take a ride up above. We haven't been up past the barns since the big rain. We have 2 ponds up there. We got a bunch of trails. I don't know if we'll be able to get on the trails today and check them out. I'm gonna say not, because it's probably gonna be super muddy. If we try to get out on them, we're just gonna rut them up. So as much as I wanna get out there, once we get up there, we'll see. But we got the 2 ponds we definitely gotta check on. We gotta check on the main road going up above. We have a bunch of little like streams that are like runoff streams that run, that go under the road. So it's gonna be interesting to see what is up above.
And then, I haven't dared to go check out my garden.
I was just gonna say, then we gotta check out Gina's garden. We've been like just focusing on the main things that we need to focus on instead of trying to check everything all out at once, because if we see stuff that we feel like we need to take care of or want to take care of, we're gonna wanna do it right then, even though it's not like a huge priority. So, other than just sometimes knowing in the back of your head that something is wrong, it just bugs you. So now we'll go up and we'll see what's going on. Get a good breeze going. So this is the first major crossing with a culvert that we get a lot of runoff, and it goes under the road here. So from down here, it comes. So there's a bunch of silt in that one, and it's still flowing good, but no damage. So that is a good thing. Let's go on up above and see how everything else is. Now the roadway needs another mowing, and I've been putting it off, and I'm thinking it's probably a good thing that we haven't mowed it, that all the vegetation helps hold everything together. We have more culverts over here. So this is all runoff from there. I don't know where this silt came from because it's not in like the main little runoff area. So this must have been like way high. You can see it came here. There's a culvert right there. All the silt. And then over here, there's another culvert right there. And luckily none of that got washed out. You can see it came from there, but I can't get over how much silt there is right here. I don't really know where that came from. That's crazy. This area right here, there's 2 culverts, and I've hardly ever seen water come out of them. I've kind of always wondered if they were even used or if they ever had water going through them. And now we know when we get big rains, they do. It comes out over here. Well, this is the culvert on the other side now. Look at all this washed out. That all came from over there. Culvert's in good shape. The other one must come out over here. And that's all looking good.
It looks like it pushed all that grass down.
Yeah, so the water must have been that high anyways. Yeah. And this is all flattened out. This is all flattened out. Not sure what down there looks like. So far, everything's looking good. I think we have like 7 culverts across this road. So I'm really curious to see what the pond looks like, because there would have been a ton of water
Hopefully the
going
fish
in
are
there.
out of it.
Right? I don't know how high that got or what happened there, but we're gonna find out. That's a washout.
You ain't gonna cross that.
Well, we're not going across that one. The culvert is still there, but I'm assuming it must have got plugged and the water ran up and over. So either the culvert got plugged or the culvert just couldn't handle all the water.
Careful, you don't know where that's...
I don't think the culvert doesn't look plugged, so there must have been so much water coming through here. It just came up over and then took this all out.
It just ever had a bad spot in this area?
This culvert,
I
I don't think we've ever had issues here.
Is this the one with the sinkhole?
No, the sinkhole one's further up, so that one's probably got this issue too.
We'll have to walk.
Yeah, we're gonna have to walk the rest of the way. So down there, that's flowing good. So now we gotta come across. I at least wanna walk up to the pond
Yeah.
and see how that looks. We might not go further than the first pond, but I wanna see how it looks from here up. We have another culvert not that far up.
I was not expecting this.
Me neither.
Especially just seeing those other two culverts, I'm like, ah, there's nothing.
Right. I'm kind of thinking it was washing down the road. You can see right here the water was going down the road. So I went down the road and was digging up the culvert, and going this way was digging up the culvert, and it just kind of was too much and forced it out, because you can see debris here and here. So I almost wonder, and all over here, yeah, this was all flooded out. So I don't know if this doesn't look like it was too full. So I'm not sure if the water just came down the road or where this water came from, because you can tell the water stayed in this ditch and didn't come up over it, because this isn't all flattened down. Wow.
And then like this, like look.
Yeah, the water was that high going that way.
But it's not like it's like a, you know, like a hill. It's all flat.
Yeah, I don't know where it was coming from. It looks like it came over the bank right here. This grass is all laid down. It must have came out of here, this way, ran that way, and some down that road.
Wow, because look at that. It must have been like a wave.
Yeah. We have our tent up in the woods.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's kind of near some running water. We won't be able to get to that today, but I'm not sure what that's gonna look like.
I was just thinking about that tent.
You were? I was thinking about it too, but I was like, well, we can't get there yet because it's probably gonna be a muddy trail. But now I'm thinking it's gonna be even worse shape than what I was just thinking. It came over right here too. You can see all the debris, all that's folded down. It was coming out there, so much force. It shot down there into here, flattened it out, and was overflowing and going down the road and going this way.
And that's that grass that's like really thick that you can't get to lay down if you want to.
Yeah.
Look at it, it's just...
There's even like a little bush. Wow. Look at it all up there. There's another area where there's an offshoot. So yeah, it was coming out with force here and down, and then like that other one coming out. Must have just been causing waves, so it's coming down here. I think there's a culvert right here. That looks fine. The one that had a little sinkhole was up above again, so I wonder what that's gonna look like. I'm liking when I'm seeing straight road and no divots. The worst part is right now, I can't see where the next culvert is, so hopefully that looks like this one. So there's a good offshoot in a culvert here. This one is good. Definitely a ton of sand. We had more water coming down this way, but that looks good. We have more trails that go down this way along the edge of these runoff areas. We can't get to those today, but I'll be interested to see what that end looks like. And then way up above, we have more in the woods. So it'll be a while before we can assess that stuff, because we're gonna have to get that culvert fixed. So far, fingers crossed, I can't see a washout up here. But I'm thinking if there's gonna be another washout, this is gonna be an issue. I don't know, I might be seeing some brown dirt right there, or it might be a stick. I'm gonna say we're gonna have a washout up here. I do see a log, and yeah, we got another washout.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
It's definitely a washout over here.
Stick here, stick there.
Be careful. Not
I
too
think
close
the
to this.
culvert's missing. Oh my goodness. Down there somewhere
How are we gonna get across?
is gonna be the culvert.
Oh,
Wow.
it's gone. You can't get over to the pond. Is this where the sinkhole was?
This one had, like on the edge of the culvert every once in a while, it was, actually there was a little bit of a sinkhole. That one is the one I had to repair a couple of years ago, the one that has the first one.
Okay.
This one just had, like on the edge of it was a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a sinkhole, more of like a pothole that we would fill in. And I had to fill that one in this spring. I don't even know what this culvert is.
Was it a metal one?
I don't know.
You should have wore your rubber boot. Did you?
I see the culvert.
Is it metal?
Yep. There's the culvert. So the culvert's down there. It's half rotted anyway, so it's not the greatest culvert. I wonder if the top of it, if that was the top that was rotted or if that was the bottom. I'm not sure, but we're definitely gonna need to get this one repaired. We're gonna need a culvert first and a bunch of fill, but before we can do this one, we gotta get that culvert filled in. That one should be fine. This one, we gotta figure out what we're gonna have to do and get this repaired.
Are you headed by yourself now? Because I'm not getting down
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna have to go up over there, and I wanna go run up to the pond and check out the pond. Well, this is devastating, but I'm glad this happened up here and not below our house. Like, imagine if this was before we could get out. This would be terrible. It's bad enough, but we can fix this at some point. But it's not like we need to fix it to leave the house.
Yeah, it's just work.
Right.
It's
We
not.
can't access the rest of our land, and it'll get fixed, but. So I am gonna go continue on up above, and I wanna at least get up to the first pond and check that out. I probably won't walk up right now any further, but let me grab the camera. I'll go up. Gina's gonna stay here, and I'll see what the pond looks like. All right, I'll be back.
Let me know that you made it up there.
You look tiny near that big old crater.
I do?
Yes. We have trails up this way also. We can't access them until this point right here, so we can't get to those right now either. So I'm not too sure what all the trails in the woods look like. I'm sure we have some damage. We have no culverts out there. They're just all natural crossings of the water. Most of this water is runoff. So it's just all, we have natural crossings. So I'm not sure what those are gonna look like. Those will probably need to be repaired at some point too, but first we need to get those two areas repaired before we can even consider getting up here. That trail right there is the one that the tent is up, and it looks like the water ran down there. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Let's take a walk over. So the water would have washed down the trail, and we have a little ditch here. So some of it stayed in the ditch and went that way. Some of it came out and went down the road. You can see that's all washed out. We have a culvert right here, and as far as I can tell right now, it's still here. I am not seeing any washouts, so that is a good thing. This culvert is good. So we have a ditch going all the way up here, and this goes up to the first pond. So let's see what it looks like. Walking up to the pond, it's probably a quarter mile or a half mile from that culvert. I want to know what it looks like, but on the same hand, do I really want to know what it looks like? I'm just afraid that the backside of the dam blew out. It just all depends on how the water came. It's spring fed, so I don't, there's one hand I'm like, oh, it should be fine because it's spring fed and it's not anything major that feeds it. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, it just always depends on how the water came off everywhere. If it came down the road and went in the pond. And this is one of your first times watching the channel. We are in northern New England and we got hit by the remnants of Hurricane Beryl that was coming up from Texas, and we got 8.5 inches of rain, and what I was told in 6 hours. So when we went to bed, well, last time I checked the rain gauge, we had 1.5 inches, around like 8 or 9, I think it was 8. Then it started raining like a son of a gun. When I woke up the next morning, went out and checked the rain gauge around 5. It had 6.5 inches. I checked a bucket that I had out. The bucket had 8.5 inches. And the bucket I had put out, getting out of breath. The bucket that I had put out was empty. I put it out because it had a wider opening, so that way if the rain was coming down sideways, a bucket can still catch it and a rain gauge can't. So that had 8.5 inches. So yeah, a lot of water for sure. And then you don't just have the 8.5 inches, you have it coming off out of all of the woods and then running into ditches and streams and then rushing and getting everywhere. So far, since that last washout, we aren't bad. That last washout area, that part of the ditch has a bunch of little runoff streams that come into it. And I think that was the issue there. So over there, which we can't get to, like I said, has other trails, and then that goes across. So I'm assuming there's probably some washed out spots over there too, but I don't know. I'm just thankful that none of this happened below our house. The pond is just up around that bend. I don't want to know what it looks like, but I do want to know what it looks like. You guys ever had that feeling? You want to know, but you don't want to know at the same time? If everything's good, I want to know. If it's washed out, I don't want to know. This is the pond. We put the dock in, and then we stock it every year with trout. I can't see the pond yet. I can see the road going by the pond, but the pond is off to the left. So I can't see the pond yet. Oh, man, I'm glad we didn't have any equipment up here for any reason that we needed to get back. So the mini excavator is not here right now. We got that out so we can fix up another road. So I'll have to wait to get that back. And we got to figure out trucking of how to get material here and how to get the culvert here. What used to take 10 minutes to do now takes almost an hour. A lot of our roads are cut off, like that big culvert, that big hole where the culvert was, the main roads are that way up here. So you can't get directly where you need to go. You gotta go the long way around. So you gotta kind of find gravel pits that are open to you. So we do have a gravel pit that's open to us here, but then to get the culvert, the main place I usually go to get the culvert, it's like an hour ride to get there now. So I gotta see if I can find horseflies. I'll have to see if I can find another place that has culverts, and then culverts right now are probably a hot commodity because everybody needs culverts. So I'm not sure. I do see the pond. This is the pond. Let's see. Can we see water in it, guys? Ah. I can breathe a sigh of relief. Sorry, I saw a tree down over there. But I'm seeing water in the pond. Nothing is busted over here. So the pond handled all of the rain nicely. That is a good sight to see. The pond is dirty, so it definitely had a bunch of water coming in, because usually it's clear, almost blue, and if it's not blue, you can totally see through it. Right now, I can't see through it to the bottom of it, so hopefully the trout are still in here. There should be. We have an outlet right there. We got a raccoon running off right over there. Huh, that's kind of weird to see a raccoon during the day. I think it was a raccoon, had a fuzzy tail. Yeah, so this is good. Further up above, I don't know how that is, but I'm just glad to see that the pond is good. We still have probably 4, 5 more culverts up above, but for now, we're not gonna check them out. We're to the pond. The pond is good, so we're gonna call that a win. We need to figure out how to fix those other 2 culverts. This road's been in for over 30 years, and it's never had issues like this, so this isn't something that occurs all the time. I'm gonna head back, meet up with Gina. I'll meet you guys down there. I am assuming wildlife must be all messed up right now too. I am seeing a lot of deer track in the tire tracks on this road. So I'm sure they're kind of messed up with how wet it is and how the water's running. That water was so high, the roots of that tree are bare. There's a little runoff there, but that must have been up to that area or higher and just went down. And that's the culvert down there that got washed out, is right there. Wow. All right, we have a tape measure in the side-by-side. I want to see if I can get down to this culvert, measure it, see what this one is. I don't think it's usable. When I get closer, I'll show you. And then I can figure out what we need to order. That's what's left of the culvert. So she was definitely rotted. So all that dirt and rocks are down there somewhere. Crazy. All right, so that was a 22, so we'll call it a 24-inch culvert that we're gonna need to replace that. Or do we go with a bigger one? I'm gonna have to call and see what's available for culverts, kind of thing. And then I should measure and see how long this is.
I'm wondering if there's gonna be like a shortage of culverts.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Because I think everybody needs culverts right now.
So that's 10 foot to there, and then
10 foot to there.
10 foot to there. $10 foot to here. So the culvert that came out was probably a 20-foot culvert. And that's more than enough for passable.
And how big do you need?
That one was 22-inch, so it should be 24-inch. All right, now I gotta get out. All right, thank you. Just got off the phone. They have culverts in stock. They just got a delivery of them. So they're gonna leave one out for me. And I'm gonna run down and pick it up. We don't need it right now, but they're going fast, so I want to get one while I know they have them in stock. And we'll just keep it on the property, and that way when we can get material here to fix that one, and then we can get material to bring in to fix that one, we'll have a culvert to put it in. I'm going with a 24-inch culvert that's 20 feet long because a 30-inch one's the next size up, and it went from $700 to $1,300, so almost double the price. What is that, to go 6 more inches in diameter? So I don't think it's worth it. You ready to check on the garden now?
As ready as I'll ever be. Let's see. Potatoes look fine.
Yeah, the potatoes look really good. Look at them. The road isn't bad. You can see water came down it.
I just didn't know because the rain coming down so hard if it would cause issue. I think it's okay. Oh, my plants are still there.
Everything looks like it's still there. I didn't know if this was gonna get washed out right here, because the day we did the gate, it looked like the water ran from here and went over there.
It's a little bit, but nothing, no.
No. Might be waterlogged the plants themselves, but I mean, even these little ones are doing good.
Yep.
And all your zinnias are looking nice. I think these onions that flopped over kind of flopped over because they're ready to get picked, because when onions start to get ready, they kind of like die back and they start falling over. So that might be why these ones are doing that. Yeah, your tomatoes aren't bad though, just 1 or 2 flopped over. Probably more from the weight of the tomatoes.
Yeah, because I got a big tomato on that one.
Does that make you feel better?
Everything looks really good. And I see a red strawberry, so I'm going to eat it. One for each of us. They're kind of dirty.
Yep, we'll have to wash them first.
honestly, this is not any worse than all the other rain we've gotten. Because
Right.
this is not even, I mean, this is full, but it's not more than it was. So, oh, everything looks good. I'm very happy.
It's definitely weird how different areas got hit different, even on the property. We had those areas that got washed out. The creek down below took out the road, or went over the road, and we got that patched up. And then it's kind of like driving around, that's how it is all up in this area. Is some areas got hit hard and there's roads washed out. Then other areas you go to, you can't even tell anything happened. So very sporadic, kind of like up here. You'd be like, yeah, it rained, but nothing major.
Yeah, very, very sporadic. It's really crazy.
Just ran out and got a nice new shiny culvert. Hope I got the right one. Yeah. So, gonna get the culvert. We'll get it unloaded. I'll stick it over here. We need to fix this culvert first before we can get to the next one. But at least this will be as close as we can get it for now. If I have to, I can load it back on the trailer. But for now, I want to get it off the trailer because we'll probably need the trailer again. That is our main road to get anywhere. And then there's another road right there in the side of it, all washed out. That is crazy. That's gonna take a while to fix. Whew.